The head of Federal Parliament's Intelligence Committee has accused China of going, quote, berserk over a visit to Taiwan by then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in 2022. He also says Australia and other democracies in the region have banded together to help deter China from launching an invasion of the island. It comes as Taiwan's president continues his tour of the Pacific. Foreign Affairs reporter Stephen Jedgetts has the details.
Labor Senator Ralph Ciccone is not exactly a household name, but he does hold an important position here in Canberra as the head of Parliament's Joint Committee on Intelligence and Security. And late yesterday, the senator issued a strident defence of the ties between Taipei and Canberra, saying it was important for democracies around the region, including Australia, to maintain those relationships, despite the fact that they officially recognise Beijing rather than Taipei. He says an important part of that is through making parliamentary visits. The senator himself went on one of those visits to Taiwan earlier this year. He issued a strong defence of the decision that Nancy Pelosi, the then Speaker of the US House of Representatives, made in 2022 when she visited Taiwan. China responded furiously to that visit, launching massive military exercises around the region, including firing missiles over Taiwan. Now, that is something that the Australian government does not want to see. And at the time, the Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, gave a very tight-lipped and careful response, some insiders saying that she was worried the decision to make the visit could tip the region into very serious instability. Senator Ciccone, though, issued a strident defence of the visit, saying the Chinese went, quote, berserk in response, but saying it was good to see Nancy Pelosi taking a stand, saying it was important for countries like Australia to make it very clear to the region and to Beijing that they don't want to see instability and that they support Taiwan. He also said that there was an important role that Australia and other countries could play encouraging, quote, deterrence, suggesting that one of the reasons Australia's engaged in a substantial military build-up is to provide that deterrence, to ensure that China doesn't look at Taiwan and think that it can take it without incurring enormous costs. Australia does talk about deterrence quite a bit, but it's rare for members of the government to link it as explicitly to the Taiwan Strait situation as the senator did yesterday. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Rest assured that there are people here in Australia who do support what you're doing, and I genuinely do believe that if there are enough of us provide a deterrent to countries like China, then I think Taiwan and its people can rest assured and sleep very well at night.
Senator Ciccone also fielded a question on another delicate subject on Taiwan, and that is Taipei's bid to join the CPTPP, a sprawling trade pact that draws in more than a dozen countries, including Australia. Both Beijing and Taipei have said they would like to join, which hands members of the CPTPP a real political hot potato, because no countries within the bloc wants to stick out their neck and be the first to say no or yes to either bid. There is a level of protection for all members and Australia because the decision has to be made by consensus, but reaching that consensus has proven difficult, and last week members of the CPTPP essentially pushed the issue back into the long grass, deferring any decision on either China or Taiwan's bid for quite some time. Australia has walked a careful line on this, simply saying that they welcome any country or economy that can join by meeting the high standards that are embedded in the CPTPP, but it hasn't explicitly endorsed Taiwan's bid. Senator Ciccone didn't explicitly endorse Taiwan, but he did say that he saw benefits to Taiwan joining. That echoes comments that have been made by many of Taiwan's supporters on both sides of the fence here in federal parliament, who have hinted pretty clearly that they would like to see Australia explicitly give the green light for Taiwan to join, to carve out a little bit more space for Taiwan in international fora. It comes, of course, as Taiwan's president, President Lai, makes a swing through the Pacific. Today, he'll land in the Republic of Marshall Islands, one of only 3 countries across the Pacific that still recognises Taipei rather than Beijing. China has been intent on picking off all of Taiwan's remaining diplomatic allies, and President Lai's visit to RMI as well as Tuvalu and Palau is aimed very much at sandbagging those relationships to ensure that Taiwan isn't increasingly isolated internationally.